Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Disco Elysium. We are currently in the apartments looking for a man on the second floor. It's been a week since I played last and I can't remember the number of said door. Number 28, there we go. We're trying to find the smoker on the balcony. We also need to open a door for Everett, but I don't really know how that's going to work. Go up to the balcony. This looks a little bit more terrifying than I anticipated. There's a box there. Excuse me while I pick up everything that isn't nailed down.
Ruination has come. The broken arches betray the once grand history of this building. It towered over the harbour until it happened.
Form a guess about what happened?
A great force from the northeast fired into the city. Heavy artillery shelled the coastline. Fired from the water. A straight shot into Revachol. The tenement acted as a defensive wall against the worst of the shelling until it was destroyed, and they had a direct firing line.
Let's take in the ocean.
The waves of the Martinez Inlet roll over the fallen remains of the building. The dark waters obscured the better part of the remains. What didn't fall into the ocean was used as scrap. What wasn't used as scrap was thrown into the ocean.
Let's look at the ruins in the water.
Those arches acted as support for something greater than what you see now. Only 3 stories stand where 9 to 12 once did. Restoration has failed. What the shelling took out was never rebuilt.
Who did this? This damage?
A fleet, the combined armies of Occident and Grad, with Mesk volunteers, a 5-nation army, hundreds of vessels. They massed airships further down in the Bay of Revachol. The artillery was so powerful. The ships not only required gyroscopic stabilization, they were anchored into the ocean floor as well.
Wow, that's interesting.
Many are still there to this day. If you squint, you can just barely see the shadow on the water, far in the northeast. Cannons still ready to placate Revachol.
Hey Kim, do you know who shelled our city?
The coalition, but that was a long time ago. I think we should move on. It's chilly up here.
That seems fair.
He does not like talking politics of this kind.
Well, let's leave. Okay, I'm actually here for money. Up here, piggo. Oh, what is it with people calling us pigs? More plastic? Let's talk to this man.
The streets will flow red once more, a great torrent rushing down Rue de Esperance. You wait and see.
The girl stares at the sailboat by the pier. You know, if any woman bought my gun, I've changed my mind. It's not Kuno S, it's this lady.
The streets will not flow red with anything. Who are you?
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C.
You just want to know your name, little lady? No need to get defensive. Don't use that tone with me. I am the law. Let's start with your blood type and go from there. Yeah, let's go with that one.
Go where? Accosting a minor?
Listen to your partner, pig man. Keep your grubby hooves off little old ladies.
Despite the attitude, he puts the brush aside.
She's grown frustrated with her work and welcomes the opportunity to challenge authority in other ways.
I see she's painting this red graffiti.
That smell coming from her paint bucket, it's not paint, it's heavy fuel oil.
Is that heavy fuel oil?
Red-dyed heavy fuel oil, intended for exclusive use in government vehicles, to be precise.
He says, studying the contents of Cindy's bucket.
What did you think I was using? Aquarels? Sucked it out of a cop's fuel tank myself. Back in Jamrock.
Oh, how intelligent.
She really did it. She's proud of it too.
You dare. You better hand that over.
Oh, what? You'll push me off this ledge and pry the bucket from my dead hands?
Valid point. Okay, you keep looking off to the side. What are you looking at?
The lieutenant is desperately searching for a handkerchief.
Wait, who is that man? She turns her head to face the coast and nods disdainfully toward the woman performing maintenance on the boat docked next to the pier.
Hatred, disgust. It's difficult to tell which of the two is more present in her girlish features. The woman on the boat does not notice her staring.
Joyce? Messier? Okay, who are you? Are you the lady? Are you the head of the Wild Pines? She might be.
That is on her. Someone's got to keep an eye on her.
Ozon is an archipelago 2 days' travel away from Rivershore. Its moneyed residents, used to posh restaurants and upscale boutiques, rarely have reason to visit Martinez.
The Wild Pines rep?
Yes, we should go talk to her. She's a professional negotiator, though. I have the feeling she will be very cooperative while telling us nothing.
Ah, good skill to have.
You should take the lead. Ask her unexpected questions, Do your thing. Don't be afraid to get a bit wacky. Throwing her off is our best bet.
Ah, wacky's my speciality.
Good idea, piggies. Run along now. Fuck her shit up good. Impound that boat while you're at it. I'd like to watch her swim back to Ozon.
What are you doing to the wall?
Can't you tell? I'm painting a beautiful mural, an aereo graffitio visible from low orbit. I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words.
She studies the wall, suddenly pensive. You don't know what to write? Why are you so committed to defacing the building? Go with this one.
Have you ever tried your hand at graffitio? When faced with a blank wall, most people write unimaginative stuff, like pigs go home and Mona was here. We rarely see pigs round here, though. Just union cards. And my name's not Mona, so...
She wants it to be something true and total.
Why are you so committed to defacing the building?
This place is severely lacking in havoc. Not even the occasional trash can fire to break up the tedium. I thought I'd mix it up, summon the forces of crime and social chaos with a wall-sized invitation.
Well, it just so happens I have an opinion on this. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah?
Okay, I love public art. Don't mind us. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm gonna have to stop you. This is hooliganism. Let's go with I love public art. Don't mind us. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks. I'm sure the inspiration will come to me now that I have an official RCM stamp of approval.
Brilliant.
She means the opposite. You've lessened her desire to deface the building.
Do you know anything about the recent murder?
I ain't no snitch, pigstein. Go forth and forage in someone else's shit. No shortage of squealers in these parts.
Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal, calm, informative manner.
We weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, fucko.
So you won't talk about the murder, but maybe you can tell us something about the murder victim's missing armor.
What do I care about some fucking tin eggshells?
Isn't armor art? Art for the, body?
Ugh, alright, sad piggy. I'll give you this one. I saw a little girl in the fishing village running around with military-grade handwear. Looked cute as hell. If you haven't been there, the village is a shithole down the coast from the main plaza. Have a good time!
And there's a little girl wearing gloves there?
No. That's all the snitching Cindy the Skull does for today. Actually, I don't even know why I told you what I just told you.
Well, it was mighty helpful, so
I
thank
have
you.
a weakness for animals. It's the animal thing again. Damn it.
He looks at you, a little sad suddenly.
Or a weakness for police officers, miss. Thank you either way.
Catch you later, Cindy.
Watch your back, ungulate. You've got eyes on you.
What an interesting human being. Okay, wasn't there was a box up here, wasn't there? Money? Let's go. What's this thought? Above, tarps flap in the wind. Forgotten hammers and nails rust. The door is locked. You can't get in. The chair's new. Someone lives back there. Or back here. Alright, well, can I go into this door, I guess? I was expecting places for people to live. This was not what I expected. Let's quick save, just in case something explodes. Apparently I have a new item? Don't believe I do. Someone's been sleeping here recently. Cindy? Enough coal to last for several winters. Smells of chemicals. What's this blue one? Ooh. Is blue perception check? Like a hidden secret sort of thing? Rather than just normal green, which will always be highlighted. Hey, it's a pair of trousers. Pour le homme labourer's jeans. Although these jeans look worn, the wearer must have had an ass given to them by the mighty lord himself. That beautiful peach-shaped man-ass has imprinted itself so deep in the fabric, you can't but wonder if wearing them would start moulding your own vague rear side into a more shapely form as well. Electrochemistry god-ass. And hindsighted. Oh, I forgot I'm wearing my awesome shoes, aren't I? Okay, well that looks like there's everything that's in here, so this obviously isn't where I'm supposed to be going. Maybe I need to go to the other balcony. There was 2 doors to the balcony. Let's do that. Let's go through the other door and see if that leads us somewhere important. Right, as far as I remember, it was down here. I guess there's that exit will lead us to the dock to talk to the Wild Pines rep as well, which gives us something we could try and do. Oh.
That isn't just a 5-pointed star. It's an inverted white pentagram cradled in a wreath of antlers. The iconography of communism, in other words.
Look out, Kim. There are communists around here.
I'll keep my armistice handy, detective.
He doesn't actually reach for his gun.
Let's inspect the symbol closer.
The star and antlers was developed in the 6th decade of the last century and quickly adopted by Messier and the communards during the revolution. Even today, half a century after, the star and antlers retains the ability to evoke hope, disappointment, and fear in equal measure.
So why is the star upside down?
To symbolize the toppling of the old order. Also, some social democrats were already using it.
What's the deal with the antlers?
The wreath of antlers represents a natural crown. It was about building a society that could exist in accord with the natural world, and at the same time above it.
Why white?
Because white is the color of peace.
What does it evoke in me?
You see noble aims, but also mountains upon mountains of corpses. They should have taken a more measured approach. Also, you're really smart. The price of idealism, unrestrained by humanism. Never again.
Yeah, that seems about right. Make sure there's nothing I missed here. Right, balcony, here we go. Another balcony door. Ah, this is the balcony we're looking for. The breaker box is full of cigarette butts and electric wires. Hey, look, there's a tin can. Money! I need this. Right. Oh, here's that blue box. Oh, we're under the railings. Because that's Renee's guard post right there, isn't it? Just a door. Nothing for you here right now. I love the snow effects in this game. They're one of my favorite effects. I think it looks really good. Someone's growing rosemary, thyme, and a cactus. Guessing this is door 28, but I want to look down here first. This is the door to apartment 29. Complete silence. Whoever lives here isn't home. This is the door to apartment number 30. Alright, let's knock on this door then.
This door is made of metal and appears to be reinforced. Someone here really values their security. Number 28. This is where the cleaning lady said the smoker on the balcony lives.
Let's see if anyone's home. Knock on the door.
Knock, knock.
No one answers.
Looks like the young man we are looking for isn't home. I think our best chance to catch him is in the evening.
He looks around, taking in the cold spring air.
We should return tomorrow after we have finished with our day's work. How about 9 p.m.? Sound good?
Sounds good. Tomorrow? Why does it have to be tomorrow? What do you mean?
The smoker on the balcony. This is why we're here, right? He might know something about the murder. So tomorrow 9 p.m.?
Why don't we just do it today at 9 p.m., Kim?
Suddenly, he's a little worried about your memory. Don't worry. It's mostly all still here. You can remember things. You got this.
Sounds good. Tomorrow, 9 p.m.
Tomorrow, 9 p.m., right here. Apartment number 28. Good, let's go.
Damn. Turns out it's quite tricky finding someone in a big apartment building. Don't worry. You'll get him. Remember, tomorrow. He's probably gone for today.
Alright, well, let's leave. This isn't the
This
door...
door is made of metal.
Oops, my bad. This isn't the door that we have the key for, then. I actually don't know where that door is. Let's go see if we can talk to the Wild Pines rep. Not being able to talk to the smoker on the balcony's kind of put me in a strange situation with what I was planning on doing. Hopefully this exit takes us there. Does indeed. Inside, the frame of a motorcycle in repair and the tools used to disassemble it. Oh, there's another blue thing back here. What's this? Oh, hello. A signal blue naval coat. Excuse me, I want to wear this. I would wear this in real life. This classic double-breasted coat suits everyone, including you. And if you ever find yourself battling winds at the helm of a ship, then the coat's heavy fabric has got your back, even if the moths have left a few holes in it. What did our current jacket do, actually? Our current jacket did police and shivers. This does suggestion. Aye, Captain! But it takes away our half-light. We didn't have any anyway, so... How bad can it be? Oh! Oh my god. I look like an anime character. What's going on? Oh dear. I forgot we have -1 authority from our glasses, don't we? On the plus side, we look amazing. I just need to get some gloves to go with it. More plastic. Cape Side Apartments. Rue de Saint Ghislaine, roundabout north. Alright, I think that's going that way, so let's go down here. Looks like there was more construction here once, decades ago. Oh, there's some more stuff here. Magnesium? I'll take it. A boat? The belly of this boat shines like it was recently painted. Wait, I remember, did I walk up this path here? I swear I walked up this path here. Docking reserved for residents of Rue de Saint Ghislaine 33A. Your room in the Whirling isn't much bigger than this sloop. This is worth more than you'll ever earn in all your life. Lovely. Let's talk to the lady, shall we? Oh wait, something else. Shadows on the water, green plants under the calm surface. I'm going to quick save just in case this all goes horribly wrong and I die of a heart attack. Paranoid.
A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good afternoon, officers. I'm Joyce.
She extends her hand in greeting.
Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM.
She steps closer and holds out her hand over the railing. Joyce L? What does the L stand for?
Phaeton, my maiden name.
Her bony hand dangles from the sleeve of her oversized raincoat. Well, I'm going to say what gave us away.
Nothing, honestly. I've said it to every drunk in town, and you're the first one who's responded.
Amazing.
Relax. She meant it in jest.
I'll shake her hand. It's rude not to shake somebody's hand.
I'm glad to see you here.
Her grip is tight and cold.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will. Gladly.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
Thanks, Kim.
There's a trace of irony in his voice. Mischief, even. This is a tactic.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group.
It's hard to get a read on her precise disposition, but she appears helpful.
Let's go wild here. So we can either say you're on a boat. Tell me about Wild Pines. What do you do? What can you tell me about this strike? What can you tell me about this lynching? You know anything about these tattoos? Let's just start off with the tattoos, shall we?
That's the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question.
So you know something about the tattoos?
Better not tie the forestay to the backstay on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with.
What a bizarre phrasing.
She wants to answer the question. Protocol keeps her from it.
The only reason protocol would stop her is if she knew who this man was. Okay, well, you're on a boat.
Why, yes I am.
She looks at the deck under her feet. Green and white sails flutter overhead. A lot of people on boats, are there?
Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around?
There is a pinch of defensiveness in her voice, but it is playful.
Wait, we're on an archipelago? Look around.
Yes, we are. We are on Le Caillou.
Kailu, I thought we were in Revachol.
We are. And the city of Revachol is on the island of Le Caillou.
Still, I haven't seen anyone else sail a boat around here.
I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema motor carriage either.
Ooh, you know about our car?
Actually, that motor carriage has been specially issued to serve as a patrol and pursuit vehicle. It's for crossing long distances in the greater Revachol industrial harbor. It's not a toy.
Neither is this. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances in the Bay of Revachol, between the city and the islands.
You need to make this lady admit she's only riding around on this boat because she's rich.
Actually, yes, I need to nail her for this.
Before you do, it might be pertinent to ask a few more questions. Learn whatever you can about this boat of hers.
Let's talk about the economics of this boat you're on. Go in for the kill. Does she have a name?
The boat? No. It is called Cordelati 19 because that's the type of sloop it is.
The word "it" feels strange. Such a beautiful boat deserves a proper name.
Okay, but what kind of boat is it?
It's a pleasure craft, a 19 pacer. It also happens to be rated for Category 1 racing. Though these days I mainly use it for business.
Cool, but your boat really needs a name.
Okay. How about Cordelati 19? Why?
She taps on the side of the boat. It makes a hollow sound.
Because it was manufactured in Revachol East by a company called Cordelati, and its hull is 19 paces long.
How about Dolores?
Why Dolores?
I just like the name for some reason. Oh, I don't know, it feels pretty. Let's go with I don't know, it feels pretty.
Well, it means nothing to me. I think I'll stick with the factory name. But thank you for the suggestion.
How do you like it?
My sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating.
Quiet, Kim.
I really do, the lieutenant thinks. Is she thrown off yet? He's looking at the woman, assessing her.
Do you have a license for this boat?
Officer, I assure you I'm a highly qualified pleasure craft operator.
The crowns of her teeth are porcelain, white as the boat's hull as she smiles. Her nonchalance might be related to something called the Wayfarer Act, a law that says she doesn't need a license. Sly fox, you're not aggressive enough to harass her further on this.
That seems fair, I suppose. Well, let's go in for the kill. Let's talk about the economics of this boat you're on.
Oh my, the E word. You mean to say that it's a symbol of conspicuous consumption? That I'm a member of the ruling class?
Yes, exactly. Or Precisemundo. Class war time, baby. No, it's a symbol of our subjugation to foreign capital. The bad kind of capital. Yes, exactly.
Detective, may I remind you that Mrs. Messier is a professional negotiator?
He doesn't look like he thinks you'll best her in single combat.
Then what does that say? Does it say docking reserved for residents of Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A?
I butchered that. I'm so sorry. I'm so bad at reading French. When the voice actors read it, I'm like, oh, yeah, nah. I tried.
33A? This old proletarian haunt here? As I said, plenty of people drive boats, of all social strata.
Oh, I've got a 28% chance. I can't change my outfit. Right, let's cross those figures.
Your synapses flash.
Let's go. Let's go. I honestly did not expect that to pass. This house was built before the revolution. Funny, I don't see any other eels' heels around here. There doesn't seem to be much space left with this 19-pace sloop docked here. What is the best response? I think this is the best response. There doesn't seem to be much space left with this 19-pace sloop docked here.
Yep, that's the stuff.
Good thing everyone else has tiny skiffs.
I assure you, they drove quite the hard bargain for this space. But you're right. I am a bourgeois woman, and this is my long, incredibly lightweight, interminably bourgeois boat.
There is no shame in her voice. A touch of sadness, yes, but no shame.
I think we handled that remarkably well. I think I have a handle on the boat thing.
Good.
So, tell me about Wild Pines. What do you do?
What we do? I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking.
There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to merely represent.
So what do they do?
The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things, and that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
The Wild Pines Group is one of the original Revacholian Indo-tribes. Companies awarded royal monopolies by the king, the suzerain himself, centuries ago. The king is long gone, but several of the Indo-tribes remain. She enjoys talking about the company. It would not hurt to inquire more.
Who are the other Indo tribes?
Saint-Baptiste, Elysium, an unknown entity known as Brightest Star.
Saint Baptiste, they're the medical people, right? LUM, I don't recognize, but an unknown entity known as the Brightest Star. I wonder if that has something to do with the tattoo on that man's body. And in good company, it seems.
Why, thank you.
She does not register the real meaning of this remark. So, how much money does Wild Pines have?
I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue.
Jesus Christ! Okay.
A billion?
What exactly is a billion?
It's a number, officer. A big one.
What is it made of?
It's made of 1,000 millions. A million is made of 1,000 thousands.
That's it? I thought Wild Pines was supposed to be big time.
And to think, there are years when the group books losses in the billions.
A wave hits the sloop. He grasps the mainstay for balance.
Wild Pines employs 72,000 people, all of whom have families that depend on their salaries. It is a tremendous responsibility.
But where does Wild Pines get all these billions?
They started as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the Samaran and Insulindian Aeschylus 250 years ago, when pine ships explored the South Seminoes and charted Lormentang on behalf of the suzerain. Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through the great unrest to re-emerge with apricots in tow. The logic of the system is totalizing. It's taken everything from its employees to build it.
It probably helps out to start with a royal monopoly.
You know more than you let on. Certainly it helped, but most of the original Indo tribes have failed or been absorbed. To survive, Wild Pines had to grow and adapt. No suzerain did that.
What does such a huge system want with a place like this? Look around.
You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners, who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo?
8% of all cargo in the world? It's quite the endeavour indeed.
There are no minor cogs in the system. Each terminal must be accounted for, lest the entire system break. Every hiccup in such a system means thousands lose their jobs, the world over. I'm here to assure that doesn't happen.
With your help, hopefully, says her warm tone.
Seems fair. What can you tell me about this strike?
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets.
Okay. Wait, what if I want to hear about these trade secrets?
First, you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade and Aliments. That gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus.
An octopus? I will slay it!
Good luck. It's only kept in place by the vested interests of half the civilized world, including your own.
What the ma'am means is that the Emergencies Act and the RCM both get their authority from the coalition government.
You'd be shooting yourself in the foot, in other words.
Damn it. Let's leave it alone.
But I am derailing us. You wanted to know about the strike.
What is your role in this, precisely?
I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
No way. She's more. She can make decisions.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place. Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gates.
You mean Jean-Luc, my race mentor? No. How were the talks going before the lynching?
Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike.
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
Ludicrous even. It's meant.
What happened to this Gaumont?
Mr. Clare told him to... how did he put it?
She pauses to compose herself.
Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see.
Okay then.
Yes. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the union.
What are their demands?
There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Oh yes. Every worker, a member of the board.
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means.
I like it. I don't know what to think about that. Over-aggressive commie posturing. Seems like they have no idea about business. Let's go with this one. It seems like they have no idea about business.
In its defense, another said, demand democracy. Pretty tame stuff compared to every worker, a member of the board.
Most of them probably don't even know what that means.
Fortunately, they explained it. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about anything, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal.
Oh, it would never work.
Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group.
Oh. Pretty funny, I have to admit. The workers can't be kings, the king is king. King is dead, long live the workers. I'm just going to say that's pretty funny, I have to admit.
They're having a blast. But how can they afford it? After 4 months, my assumption was they would prefer a more practical solution.
What are you going to do?
I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position. A hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again. And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags. A disastrous situation if there ever was one.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the bowyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, "Call me mañana."
Oh, it was Manana.
This checks out.
The scabs at the gate. Did you put them there?
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock, come to plead for work where the Union refuses to? If they were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you. Not right now, at least.
Why not?
It's implied. She's open to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion.
Guess we have to prove ourselves first. What do you think of Everett?
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first.
Really?
Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
That's Everett, all right.
He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar.
I remember hearing something about this Edgar.
Have you seen him?
No.
Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues.
What about the Union itself? Outside the Brothers Clare?
The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organised labour at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The Brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say?
He hesitates, looking for the right expression.
A mob. The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, we are forced to cooperate with them.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Everard and his brother.
He turns to you.
And your opinion, detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Débardeurs Union is...
I can say an effective advocate for the rights of local working men. A giant leech sucking the life out of Revachol, or basically a socialist mob. I'm gonna go with socialist mob.
Thank you for being candid. Sadly, Wild Pines have cooperated with what amounts to a crime syndicate for 2 decades. However much you feed the wolf always hungers.
One more thing. You said something happened in the elections.
I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore. Or coming to work. Ever. End of story.
Some kind of extortion, probably?
Indeed. The company suspects foul play, but there's nothing they could do. It was a union matter. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
That's all I need here. Let's change the topic.
Of course. How else can I help?
What can you tell me about this lynching?
Quite a few things, I'm afraid.
He falls silent for a moment, contemplating something.
The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi from Precinct 57.
Oh no. I don't know what my badge number is, because I don't have my badge.
And this is my colleague from Precinct 41, Detective Dubois. I'm afraid Harry doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice.
I hope so.
Oh, and what happened to yours, Detective?
She returns the lieutenant's badge and turns to you.
Awkwardness washes over the conversation. The woman doesn't like this turn of events. 'Twas stolen by some artist, surely. Best to pin the blame on them. Everyone knows you can't trust artists.
Why should I blame it on an artist? Some artist types stole my badge. It was a mistake to trust them. Remember when my partner told you I'd recently suffered from an unusual medical episode? My lost badge is related to it. But why should I blame it on artists?
Everyone knows you can't trust artists. They're nearly as bad as clowns.
I really want to blame it on an artist just because of this. Let's go with it. Some artist types stole my badge.
You mean someone stole your badge?
They said it was for a performance. You know how artists are nowadays.
I don't, in fact. I'm afraid what I need to tell you is wholly unrelated to art. I really need to discuss it, however, with the RCM, and I need your badge for that.
Uh-oh.
Unbelievable, sire. Even the performance artists didn't work.
Remember when my partner told you I'd recently suffered from an unusual medical episode? My lost badge is related to it.
I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode?
I couldn't have eaten it? It's possible. After a night of heavy drinking, I lost all memory of my life and the world. I could have eaten it for all I know. I don't remember anything. This world, this city, nothing. I'm just going to go with yes.
I can't hear you, darling. Speak up, please.
Bugger. I could have eaten it for all I know. I don't remember anything about this city.
Oh dear. I suppose this does explain some of the more curious turns in our conversation.
She must have been suspecting something for a while now.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM.
Of course, I sympathize, but I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
Damn it.
Hang on. She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
What kind of arrangement would it be?
I mean, favors for favors. A dirty alliance of some sort. Consider this. Perhaps she has been planning it all along. That you convince yourself into colluding with her.
Okay. A 97% chance. A dirty alliance and sympathy for your amnesia.
Easy. Just offer her a favor. Like I said, nice and dirty.
Surely. There's some other way to demonstrate our law enforcement credentials.
I will be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something very tangible.
You're in, but expect her to drive a hard bargain.
Like what?
Reports from inside Terminal B suggest it's a hub for the local drug trade. This is an open secret in Martinez. The Union controls the terminal, so it goes to reason. The company has tried looking into this matter before, to no avail. Perhaps someone with your authority and resources might turn over the right stones.
Is it going to be in the giant floating container?
Or you can recover your badge. Though if I may be blunt with you, it sounds like that may be a lost cause.
Detective, a word in private before we continue.
Excuse us for a moment, madam.
Hey,
Who, me?
yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again.
Get the fuck out of here. No. Right, I think I'm going to have to end this episode here. It's running on long. We will speak to Kim in the next episode. thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, let me know what you think. Your comments are greatly appreciated. And as always, I'll see you next time.